Hey all, Brent here with a little rant-ish thing. And I kind of feel bad because this isn't that important, but I think it's worth my mentioning. I'll explain later. This is about Hanamaru Kindergarten. This is an anime that premiered a couple of days ago, actually, in Japan. You can see it on Crunchyroll if you have a membership. Otherwise, it'll appear in a few days. Anyway, Hanamaru Kindergarten is a comedy, fairly goofy comedy about a kindergartner and her classmates and her teacher. It was mostly about the teacher, Tsuchida, and this girl, Anzu. So when he first meets her, she thinks he's hitting on her, innocent kid stuff, which causes some issues for him later on. And then at the end of the episode, she says she wants to be his bride. Ha ha ha. Now, I have no problem with that. I mean, it's a goofy comedy about little kindergartner girls, you know, getting into trouble and stuff like that. There's absolutely nothing directly sexualized with any of these characters, so no big deal there. But there's something that the episode does that, to me, crosses a line. And I'm talking about this because I saw some folks on Twitter debating this and saying they saw no problems at all with Hanamaru Kindergarten. And I have a problem with it, and I want to explain why. It's not just, oh my gosh, you know, she says she wants to be his bride. She's a kindergartner. But here's the thing. The last half of that episode, roughly, spends a fair amount of time establishing the fact that Anzu, the little girl, her mother, actually knew Tsuchida, this kindergarten teacher. She knew him when they were in high school. And the mother actually fell in love with one of her teachers, slept with him, got pregnant, and then married him. And she had Anzu as a result of that. They leave it deliberately vague as to in what order all of that happened, as to whether they, you know, what the marriage happened. Anyway, but it's. And then when Anzu says she's going to be this guy's bride, he laughs it off, and then the mother is like, "Nah, I have no problem with that. I approve." And he gets in the back of his mind, you know, oh wait, that was kind of, you know, what she did. And there's also some time spent in the episode making the point that Anzu is very much like her mother. You know, they talk about how, oh, she's exactly like her mother. She's going to grow up just like her mother. That's creepy. And to me, that crosses a line. Now, again, I'm not saying that they're setting up this show that Anzu is going to do anything with the protagonist. I'm clearly not. But the fact that the episode spent so much time establishing this comparison between the girl and her mother and what the mother did, and the fact that the girl is now putting herself in the same situation, and the fact that the mother is okay with this, that's creepy. That crosses a line. Now, I know some folks are going to say, oh, it's no big deal. And I still like the show. That's cool. I'm not at all saying that anyone who watches Hanamaru Kindergarten is a pedo or is condoning any of the, you know. I'm saying this crossed the line for me. This is for me. And I'm just saying that there's something there beyond simply the characters, beyond simply Anzu's you know, innocent ideals about being someone's bride. You know, they spend a lot of time establishing the consequences and therefore of that, and just this, you know, that whole thing that happens. That's why I'm a little worried that folks say that, oh, there's nothing wrong with this. There's a little bit more to it than just this girl saying these things. And the reason I'm saying something about it, I mean, this is just an anime. You know, this is just a little element, you know, one element of one comedy. But I believe as fans, one of our jobs is to provide feedback to the industry. To tell the industry when they're doing things right, when they're doing things wrong. It's why I buy anime, to vote with my dollars for what I think is anime worth making. And so I feel it's important for me, again, just for me, to stand up here and say, to me, that went a bit too far. And I wish they hadn't done that. Especially because this anime is made by Gainax. And the director, it was the director of Full Metal Alchemist, Gundam 00, Trigun. He's done lots of great stuff. And ironically stuff that very much does not sexualize his characters at all. It doesn't introduce any, you know, of those elements where it's, you know, doesn't make sense. So I find it unfortunate that they did this, and before anyone says it, okay, this may have been a plotline in the original manga. That doesn't mean they had to include it in the anime. There's plenty of anime that diverges somewhat from the manga based on what the director and the staff wanted to do and what they felt was appropriate to include in the anime. You know, you have to make some concessions. So, again, this is just me, but why did they have to do that? I mean, did we really need that plot line? Was anyone really just desperate to include that in this anime? I mean, couldn't we have gone just up to that point and then stopped without including the whole comparison with the mother and having what she did? I mean, anyway, so that's my opinion. I'm happy to discuss it with folks reasonably, rationally. Comments down there, and that's just, again, that's me and my opinion.